Wife, 33 female, finally admitted to cheating on me, 36 male. Now what? My wife, 33 female, and I, 36 male, have been married for 8 years with no kids. We dated for 3 years prior to getting married. 6 years ago, I caught her lying about spending time with an ex-boyfriend. At the time, I was temporarily disabled by a severe injury and awaiting my workers' compensation claim to be processed. It eventually was, resulting in surgery, physical therapy, and a cash settlement, but the process took over 2 years to resolve. I was stuck at home, in chronic pain, and doubtless difficult to live with. She had recently reconnected with some old friends, and began hanging out with an ex-boyfriend. I told her point blank that it made me uncomfortable, and she accused me of being jealous and controlling. She began to complain to her friends that I was trying to keep her from spending time with this man, and they became hostile to me. I remained uncomfortable, but I tried to let it go. I began to notice my wife coming home with things that we could not afford, and she always had a ready excuse. Again, I was accused of paranoia, and I let it go. She dared me to go through her phone if I thought she was lying, which I thought would make me as intrusive and controlling as she claimed, so I refused. The warning signs kept coming. One day, she left her phone at home, and remembering how she had asked me to look at it to prove her innocence, I decided I would actually look. It was absolutely full of incriminating text messages. She and the ex-boyfriend were seeing one another daily. He was giving her rides to work in his car while she was telling me she rode the bus. They took a day trip up to the city together. One text from him even said "I love you," although there was no response in kind from her. I packed my things up and got ready to leave. I decided to confront her first, and waited until she came home. She walked in the front door and immediately realized what was up. I explained that I had looked at her phone and found evidence that she had lied to me. She admitted to being emotionally involved but adamantly denied having a physical relationship with him. I didn't believe her, but I had no proof. We talked for hours, and she convinced me that she was ashamed of her actions and had only looked for attention because I was so miserable all the time due to my injury. I didn't leave. Over the years since then, we have worked hard to build a life together. With the help of me working full-time, and devoting most of my injury settlement to moving and school expenses, she finished her degree and started a career. It hasn't always been easy, and there have been points where I found it difficult to trust her. On occasion, she has thrown it back at me, demanding to know how long I am going to let one mistake undermine my trust. 2 or 3 times, I asked again if she had truly come clean about her affair, and she vehemently denied having done anything physical. Which brings us to this week. One of her friends who had accused me of paranoia was briefly the subject of discussion, and it led me to think about that time in our lives. Some specific contradictions were bothering me, and doubt was keeping me awake at night. I decided to share my feelings with my wife, if only to explain what was bothering me. This time, as I broke it down and explained what exactly was eating at me, she came clean. She had a physical affair with the ex-boyfriend. She was unhappy at home and his attention made her feel good. He bought her nice things. She said she had flirted a bit too much with some other people and even pursued them, but never had any other actual affairs. She claimed that all of this ended when she was caught, and that she has not had another affair since then. I wasn't angry. I wasn't surprised. I was just hurt. This was hardly a revelation. I had known even though I hadn't known. It was the reason I asked again every few years. Now I don't know what to do. My wife is the same person she was last week, when I essentially knew she had cheated on me years ago, only now she has come clean. I adore her. I can even see myself putting this behind me and moving on. But I have some major concerns, and they are all potential deal breakers. 1. I know exactly what I would tell a friend if they were in my situation. No matter how much I love this woman, the person I made plans to spend the rest of my life with, my brain tells me to get out now. 2. If I stay, I do not know if my trust can ever be rebuilt. She didn't just cheat on me, she didn't just accuse me of paranoia for suspecting the truth, she continued to lie for 6 more years after being caught. She questioned my trust while continuing to lie to me time and time again. 3. We had planned on having children when the time was right, but I do not want to bring a child into this situation right now. Her window of opportunity to have children is limited, and if we spend the next 6 years trying to make our marriage work only to fail, It will be all but too late for her to have another shot at a family with someone else. 4. I would be foolish to take her word that this was the only time. I guess it seems so simple when I lay it out like this. Maybe I am hoping that someone can provide me with pros to staying, because right now all I see is a long list of cons. Maybe I just need a kick in the butt. Now what? She cheated on you, lied to your face multiple times for years, gaslighted you, and broke your trust. She stabbed you in the back at one of your lowest points instead of coming to you in honesty with her struggles. In my opinion, adoring someone isn't a reason to ignore all of this. You already know the list of cons is a long one and you already know what you want to do, you just haven't committed to it yet. Be strong, you deserve better. Relationships boil down to how your partner is with you when you need them the most. She didn't show up for you. And not only did she not show up for you, but she abandoned you and was basically playing significant other with someone else while you were suffering. I will say long-term injuries/illnesses etc. can be difficult for couples. But it sounds like she didn't even try for you. And bottom line, she cheated and lied to you for years. I'd never be able to trust her again. I feel for you, man. But you deserve better. I think you should call in a counselor on this one. The stuff you're weighing is all valid, and it's worth sorting through it with the help of an actual pro. If your wife genuinely regrets her actions and is committed to fixing whatever can be fixed, she should agree to that course of action. Agree. A pro would be beneficial here for you. You sound like a very thoughtful and rational human being. Partnership means sticking by each other through the good and ugly times, and it seems there were tough times occurring then, and she chose the most hurtful selfish route. She made a big bad decision and continued to lie year after year about it, to convince you and herself it wasn't true. Poor character. Bottom line, I bet as time goes on with the truth finally out, you no longer adore her. Trust your gut. I think you already know. She accused you of being jealous and controlling. She began complaining to her friends that you were trying to keep her from spending time with this man, and they became hostile to you. She accused you of paranoia. She was so sure to have you under her manipulation that she even dared you to check her phone knowing that you wouldn't do it. She was shameless enough to come back home with things that you could not afford. She was cheating, lying and manipulating you the whole time. Even when she came clear, she tried to blame it on you. No remorse, no shame. She wouldn't hesitate to leave you again if hard times came upon you once more. No question she admitted cheating because she is sure she will come off scot-free from this situation. Do you need a person like that in your life? I'm so sorry, mate. You did everything in your power to make this marriage work. You forgave her and kept going, and the only thing you wanted out of her was honesty and respect, but she couldn't even give you that. Find someone who will love and respect you the same way.